Namaskar. You couldn't have asked for a greater challenge than to have a panel to be moderated with such veterans before me. I'm very glad that Dr. Mathur has agreed to be here. But my objective is, we are talking of the ECBC. If it becomes mandated, what will happen to the lighting industry? It says if it becomes mandated. I think there's slight confusion because my understanding is, as an act of parliament, it's already there. The question is, states have to adopt it. Am I right, Dr. Mathur? Yeah. So really, it's not a question whether it's mandated or not. As you know, we are in democracy, and democracy has the compulsions. So even the vibrant Prime Minister like Mr. Modi can't say, thou shalt do it. You say, who are you to tell me what to do? I'll do what I want to do. So we are in a situation like here, where the states have to adopt. And I must share with you, since Dr. Mathur is here, ECBC is incredible. Because I have been back in my country for more than 45 years. I have seen the madness in the system. Anything you like to bring out, this we'll talk about, that we need to do it. There will be 20 objections to why should we do this. It's quite commendable. Despite all that, ECBC did come out. We have an energy conservation building code. It is now old. It is 2007, and Dr. Mathur is equally sees as I am that code which is 7 years old is really not relevant, and we'll be discussing it today. It should get revised, and of course I am involved with Dr. Mathur, many others are involved in ensuring it gets updated to become more in line with what is today's requirement. And delighted to hear what the Alcoma and what the Piyush Goyal mentioned, that we are at the cusp, where Dr. Mathur said, at the revolution which will bring LED to every home. I fully share the concern with the CFL, with the Mercury, but keep in mind we went a step ahead from the 60 watt to become 9 watts. Now from 9 watt we are going to a small wattage, maybe 2 or 3 watts. So nation is progressing, we have to be patient, it will take its own toll. It's not something that I tell you to do it and you will obey tomorrow morning, it won't happen. So the question I am going to raise with my esteemed panelists basically is this: what they see, ECBC is not, my question is not when it gets mandated, it's already mandated. When all the states in the country adopt ECBC, and I hope they will not adopt in its present form because they are going to revise it. So they'll keep the provision that as it gets upgraded, the new ECBC version which will come out hopefully next year, Doctor. So hopefully by 2015, we have the ECBC revision from 2007. And Dr. Mathur has always been talking about it'll get across the country, that every state in the country will adopt it. Doesn't matter which party they belong to, they'll adopt the ECBC as required to be followed in their state. I also belong to Green Building Council. Dr. Saab was very generous in sharing what we have done. We are very happy that, and we are very proud Indians, that green has become again our way of life. You know, when I was born in Old Delhi long back, this was the way we built buildings. We never built buildings of glass. We never building alien to my environment. We always built in harmony with the nature. They didn't have any lights at that point. We lived all through the day. Night fell and we used to, I remember in my home we used to have some DC light and DC fans. Of course they went away in the 30s, 40s they went away. But the question is, can we make the building which don't require light? And the answer is yes. India is blessed with the 300 days of sunshine, abundant sunshine. The question is, it brings heat, it brings glare. So do we have the technology, do we have the experience of designing building which will neither bring the heat nor the glare but bring the sunlight? Answer is yes. And there are 500 projects working across the country today which are doing exactly this. Buildings are daily. Company like Infosys goes all the way, says Not only that, I want 275 lux for my workstation and I want no drapes. So guarantee me as an architect, as an engineer that I have 275 lux at every workstation and no glare. And we have done it. There are many buildings working like that. So my question is, and since Dr. Mathur is here, I have the great advantage. Dr. Saab, tell us your vision. When the ECBC revised version 2015 gets adopted by the whole country, obviously new ECBC will talk about the LED, as he rightly mentioned. Current ECB talks about 10 watt per square meter. We are heading toward maybe 3 watt per square meter. We'll have a revolutionary change in terms of the energy consumption. What ECBC defines today, IGBC goes, of course, using ECBS as the base. What saving we can do? What do you think will be the commercial building like, Dr. with the 2015, which are compliant with the ECBC 2015? What will be the typical energy consumption? I know the figures today in the ECBC, which are already about 1/3 what a conventional building does. But what further saving do you anticipate?
Yes, sir. As far as as you rightly said, we are looking at lighting power densities of about 3 watts per square meter in the revised code. Generally speaking, in commercial buildings, we have found that lighting, this is a lot more complicated, sir, than I thought it would be, because there is, in day use office buildings, obviously the amount of lighting that is used in well-designed buildings is already low. It can be somewhere like 30% of the total energy demand. If we go into non-well-designed buildings, it can go up to even 50%, and if it's a non-air conditioned building, then obviously it's much more. The short point that I'm saying is that if there is a well-designed building, say, which is today at about 35–40% of the total energy use is for lighting, we are seeing that it would become half. Because even though the current ECBC says it is 10, what we are finding is that in buildings that are built which are compliant with the ECBC, they may not be as good as the platinum rated LEED buildings, but we are seeing that 7, 8 seems to be something which everybody is using in buildings they are making today. So we are looking at that becoming half. I don't have the numbers to be able to tell you what the total impact would be, but I would take this opportunity to make the point that when we specify the lighting power densities, we are completely technology neutral. That's why we go for lighting power density rather than saying what technologies are used. The second is that what we have seen is that there is a large amount of innovation as far as throw is concerned. So whether it is reflectivity and then throw, a lot of, in a sense, magnification of the light source occurs because of these innovative techniques. Consequently, I think that in the best buildings, we might even start seeing a lighting power density of 1. The challenge was, and I think continues to be, how do we embed it in the walls and the interior ceilings. One thing, of course, is that the physical size of the LED devices and their luminaires is much smaller. This is good. It allows a lot more play. But what also happens is that the kind of relationship you need with the rest of the building for removing the heat also becomes a challenge, because if you had a larger luminaire which projected above the ceiling, there was a larger heat transfer surface area. This is, I think, the kinds of places where the kinds of innovation are needed in order to make sure that these are structurally sound, they provide the kind of light and throw that is needed, and at the same time are able to be managed in terms of the temperature.
Thank you, Dr. Mathur. My next question is to Lalit. Lalit, you might, and I'd like to share with you, since I work with the Indian Green Building Council, our projection is that what is India today in 2014, another 30 years down the line, by 2050, you'll see 4 Indias. That means 3 more Indias are yet to be built. And they will be built. There's no choice about it, because today, as you must have said, 400 million people don't have a home to go to. They have a shelter, not a home to go to. They will all demand, and they will get it. And we are all heading toward that direction, that we'll have 3 more Indias built up in the next 30 years. And largely it will be homes. 60-65% will be homes. In the IGBC, our tally stands today at 2 billion square feet. I have taken a challenge that by India at 75, which Modi Sahab mentioned in his independence speech, that IGBC will also contribute, or the nation will contribute at least 10 billion square feet. At that point, that everybody, low paid, high paid, LIG, EWS, they will all have a green home to come to. So Lalit, my question is, how do you see this revolution of the LED affecting the home? Doctor mentioned about the commercial building, but really my need is much larger for home. That's where the incandescent bulbs have been used recently. That's where Saurabh just mentioned about the revolution that's taking place in Pondicherry, that they're giving 10 rupees in LED. What do you see the revolution in the home sector and the homes yet to come? Obviously, from day one, you will not start the CFL or the GLS, you start with the LED. So share with us, as Philips, what do you see the light, what lies ahead?
Okay, first of all, let me, we are one of the fortunate countries that we have some energy conservation code for our buildings, right? And I congratulate BE that they are taking the next initiative to update it. The point Dr. Mathur mentioned, it's coming down from 10 watt per square meter to almost 1/3, which is approximately 3 watt. I would suggest, in case as a team, if we can see that we can link it to, the 3 watt per square meter is just a connected load, but if we can link it to the usage, so that we encourage even the daylight harvesting, or we encourage the connectivity in the lighting or the dimming solutions in the lighting, which can even throw much larger opportunities. Now coming to the homes, you said rightly that we graduated from say 10 lumen per watt incandescent lamp to about 60 lumen per watt CFL eye lamps. Now the next challenge is we are going to 80 lumen per watt, 100 lumen per watt. Yes, as we are transforming the technology, the cost is high as of now, but it's going to come down. So the challenge is what, as a lighting Alcoma or as a lighting industry, which has taken that by 2018, we'll reduce the connected load of lighting, which is consuming about 18% today to 13%. I think is quite encouraging or quite aspiring challenge, for which as a lighting industry, as a usage communication, quite a lot of things have been done. Good beginning, what Mr. Saurabh Kumar talked about, that already they are taking initiative. They have done something in Pondicherry, now they're going to do in Guntur, and they have very big plans. I think it's a very good initiative. Of course, we'll see the lamps also in the market more and more as we communicate more. There are still people, still it makes a sense to buy LED lamp at the present price also, and there are many people who can afford it. But it's not that it's well communicated to those people. But with the programs that we are running or what we heard today also, it's an ample opportunity and it will pick up very fast. What he said, like 25 years for CFLI, but 5 years for LED, I would see even it can be even faster. The way
Well, we heard some. Yeah, we heard that the Piyush Goyal sir wants it not 5 years. Why 5 years?
He wants
3 years.
He wants 4.
Why not?
it's possible.
And I'm sure the industry is here and they should be able to rise up to the occasion to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Can I share some details, sir?
Yeah, go ahead, please. Would you like me to finish my 3 panelists and then maybe, if you don't mind?
As you
Yeah, please. If you just hold on for a few minutes, let me ask Shakti. Shakti, you represent the EESL. It's quite amazing what Saurabh is able to do in the country. Make a win-win situation for both the user like me and the state and now the industry. It's quite commendable that in our country, despite all the concerns, apprehensions and all, we are still able to proceed. My question to you, Shakti, is that one of the areas that we see gross wastage, and I'd like to share with the audience here what we call light pollution. You may not be aware of the term. I'm very sensitive to it. If you were to go to the outer space in the space vehicle and look down onto the earth, the areas of the earth will appear bright throughout whenever you are in the space. And those areas like places like Dubai and Singapore, where street light is so bright that there is never a night. The loss, there are no birds in those areas because bird, as you know, require a cycle of 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark. And they go away into the trees and go to sleep at night. Canada, very strangely, is the country which is the darkest, not Africa. Canada appears the darkest when you go outside. We are still somewhat dark, not very dark. So question to you, Shakti, is, as we see the revolution of the LED coming in, we hope that my country will still remain at night friendly to the bird. That means it will still be a dark view when you go to the outer space, not a brightly lit spot as Dubai would be, where the street light is so bright. So what do you think what Saurabh is mentioned about the LED coming in, what do you think will transform to our street lighting as we see across the country?
Dr. Jain, thank you for that question. Firstly, it's a very intelligent question. Coming to Light India is always like coming home, right? Because I've been associated with lighting for the last 30 years.
Yes. When you studied the Prakash, when we had the Prakash 90s, you were there, yeah.
I've been associated with ESL sort of for the last 1.5 years. I'm seeing the transformation that ESL has been able to make in the ground level. What you just heard about Puducherry and Udu amongst the consumer homes. Within a very short span of time, you will see that's happening in the street lighting. Like he's already shown it in his presentation, that we have more than 1 million street lights on the table to be finalized. And in one of the questions that you asked, whether those lights at night, our proposal to the municipalities and the government is that they should be dimmed 50%, if not more.
Wonderful. So when they are not required, they are not fully lit.
On the road, between 12 and 5 or 11 or 6, whatever you call it, they'll be dimmed 50%, 40% or 60%. 50 or 60%. So that the eligible goes down and the light is not wasted.
Wonderful. I hope you succeed in doing what you are planning to do.
All our
Thank you.
proposals to the municipalities is with central control monitoring system.
And dimming at night time beyond the 11 o'clock, whatever time the municipality decides. Good. Thank you, Shakti. I'll open to the whole floor. There was a question, yeah. Kindly please stand up, identify yourself.
I am H.S. Sharma, IIT Bombay graduate, 1963, probably oldest living IITian of India.
Wow.
My question is very simple, sir. 60% of us have no access to electricity. UNS is going to put a fine on us because we are not in that solar race. Germany has 7,000 megawatt. It has very low radiation. Still, people have retired, they have put solar panel on their house and they are supplying to the grid and getting payment. Whole country has hardly 80 megawatt and it is not growing. I will share with you. Number one, there are huge, you can note down the address, Exhibition Road, Patna. You can go buy any number of solar panels stolen from the villages. Number two, NABARD refinances. It is going to be a fine on us because we have no right to pollute the air of this earth. China is going to stop burning coal. Germany has told we will not use nuclear. We are nowhere. We are burning coal. Our air in Delhi is the worst. It has come, I can give you all the details. I am only asking simple things, sir. Ground realities, we are not having solar in 60%, whatever you are discussing, only in the air. Ground reality has no relationship. 60% of Indians have no access to electricity. Are you aware? And you are talking efficiency. Come to my village. I will show you Pathan houses. 25-foot ceiling. No need of cooler. No need of AC. Come, I will show you. And very good lighting. Why can't we use our old technology and build from lime? No 53 cement, no 43 cement. Come to Qutub Minar. Which type of cement was used? 43 or 53. Why can't we go to the roots? I am in the global warming group. I am sharing with you, with all of you. As per my calculation, Earth's temperature will rise by 8 degrees. I have sent to Helsinki, Paris and Berlin. Why? Snow in Siberia has melted. Underneath is vegetation, which is emitting methane, which has a global warming potential of 25 as against one of CO2. Come to Kerala, Andhra and Tamil Nadu. Potato does not grow there. It grows only in Himachal and UP. It requires 0 degree for germination. If the earth gets warmer, in my calculation by 2050, we will not have potato. Wheat germinated 1.5 degrees. Sir, what will we eat? Bananas. I am sharing with you the shape of things to come. If the earth gets warmer,
Thank you.
sir, I am giving all the
Thank you.
Come to ground reality, sir.
Sure.
See why solar is not developing.
No, fortunately, as I understand, the present government policy is to have rooftop solar. That's what you are talking about. They don't have power, they don't have electricity. Once you have rooftop model available, which is what, it's not area of my expertise, but I understand government is very focused on it. But can we just move on to the next question from some of the
I
people?
am international food irradiation expert. Listen to me, sir.
Sure.
In this country, we have very high ambient temperature, 50 degrees, high humidity, and no cold storage space, and 20% peak power shortage. We produce 100 kilogram of fruit and vegetables, 70 kilogram to waste. It is a fact.
Sir, can we meet you during tea time?
Yeah, go ahead.
We'd love to talk
Yeah.
to you.
What's that? Just, let's get a mic. Can we get a mic here, please? Yeah, go ahead, please. Any specific question to any panelist?
Well, I think you are the best.
No.
On this subject of cost,
Ji.
what will be we would just like to know what will be the cost of the 3 watt per square meter building as compared to what it will take.
Cost per square meter of the,
Yeah, what will be the effect on the construction costs and everything
by going,
by going from these 3 buildings?
Oh. okay. Yeah, let me answer you the question. When we started our movement, there were no products available in the country. We had no green products available because we were importing all the variety of things to make the building green, which is a shame. Because green started here 3,000 years ago, so why should I import from somewhere else? So we have been working very closely with the industry, similar industry to lighting industry here, and we have been able to bring the cost down, which was about 16% in 2003, down to about 2% in 2014. Mission is 3-4 years down the line, there will be enough green products made in the country, for the country, as Modi Sahib said, zero defect, zero effect, that there will be green products made here, which will bring the cost at par. But we see a conventional building. That's the time we see the revolution taking place in the lighting today, that we are moving from CFL, GLS to LED. We move the building, which will be all gone away from the conventional glass building, alien to the environment that they're in, that they'll become green building. That is very much on the card. Today is about 2% for a certified green building. Doesn't matter whose certification you choose. America, India, TERI, GRIHA, IGBC, they're all about 2% to 3%. It's going to slowly reduce, with steeply dropping down. Just like the solar power cost, PV cost has come from 25 crore to 7 crores. We are hoping up to about 5.5 crores a megawatt. Then we'll see the revolution that everything will be solar. Yeah. Any question? Yeah, please, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Please identify whom you want the question from.
Thank you, Chairman. I am Lakshmana from CSTV. I have a question to Ajay Mathur. Thank you, Dr. Mathur. You have a very good exposition of the BF a very good literature developed by the BA for awareness generation. But another part on the petroleum consumption research association, वो भी also a good literature, but not to be adaptable. Might means climate change, adaptation and mitigation. Adaptation means आदत में लाना, mitigate बहुत कम. जब हम आदत में ही नहीं आएंगे तो mitigate कहाँ से करेंगे? क्वेश्चन एक ही जो अडेप्टेबिलिटी का फैक्टर है, टाइम वो कहीं परिलक्षित हो रहा है, कहने का मतलब कि वो कहीं इस्तेमाल नहीं हो रहा है, तो उसमें किस तरह की भी कर सकती है एफिशिएंसी लिटरेचर डेवलपमेंट इन हिंदी मीडियम से, बिकॉज 130 करोड़ लोग भारत के रहते हैं और जिसमें सेगमेंट फार्मर्स ऑफ मोर 70% इज फार्मर्स सेगमेंट. अगर हम उसको इंक्रीज कर देंगे, उसके अवेयर को कहते हैं, वो अडेप्टेबिलिटी बढ़ जाएगी और एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में अपना बिजली की जो प्रॉब्लम है देश के अंदर ऑटोमेटिकली कम होती चली जाएगी. दूसरा है एसएमई सेक्टर के लिए. मैं जैन साहब से निवेदन करूंगा कि आप ग्रीन हाउसिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, ग्रीन एग्रीकल्चर की बात कर रहे हैं, ग्रीन एसएमईज की बात होनी चाहिए. हाउ टू मेक ए ग्रीन एसएमई एज ए मॉडलिंग प्रोग्राम. So many models developed by ECBs as a lead grain, lead plated, silver plated. But how many SMEs are lead plated? How many SMEs are the silver plated? So there is a modeling in the SME sector. I belong to allotment 9 industrial areas हैं. मत्स्य है, साजापुर है, नीमराना है, विज्ञान है, जापानी जो है. But how many SMEs are the SME as a green? How many SMEs as a applicable to every labor is fighting there. Everywhere, somewhere is tight, somewhere no water, no clean air, no clean water, no clean fooding, no clean shelter. Question is, how to implement the SME sector in a proper way to economy of the SMEs and economy of the country in a better way.
नमस्कार. जो आपने बात कही, एक तरफ तो पूर्णतः सहमत हूं, दूसरी तरफ एसएमई का सवाल है, वो हम और आप अलग बात कर लेंगे. यहाँ लाइटिंग का माहौल है, पर जो बड़ी बात आपने करी जिसके ऊपर मैं थोड़ा सा समय लेना चाहूँगा, वो ये है कि ये ज़रूरी है, जैसे आपने कहा, कि हम और आप अपने रोज़मर्रा की ज़िंदगी में किस प्रकार से बिजली और पेट्रोलियम दोनों की खपत ऐसे करें कि वो कम से कम हो लेकिन हमारी काम पूरा हो जाए. तो जो ये एक तरह से बोला जाए, आई थिंक इसको बोलते हैं बिहेवियरल चेंज शायद बोलते हैं. तो सिर्फ कहने से तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता. अगर मैं कहता रहूं कि साहब बिजली बंद कर दीजिए, बच्चे कम कीजिए, तो कहने से कुछ नहीं. उसके साथ क्या करना है ये आवश्यक है. तो मैसेज भी दें, उसको रीइंफोर्स भी करें, उसको करने के लिए साधन भी दें. तो ये पूरी तरह से एक कैंपेन होना पड़ेगा और इस बात से मैं पूरी तरह से सहमत हूं कि कैंपेन हमें आवश्यक है और आज कैंपेन हम नहीं कर रहे हैं. तो जो आपकी बात कही वो सही है और इसको मैं होप करता हूं कि इसमें हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. ये एक ऐसी चीज है जिसके कि हमारे मंत्री जी भी काफी इंटरेस्टेड है, तो लगता है कि ये हो जाएगी.
I like to stop here now because we have done overrun. May I request you to give a big hand to my panelists, please?
And this is actually following up on the question that you said in Lalit. I have a friend who moved from Delhi to Pune. And I met him a few days ago and he told me that he has changed all the lights in his house to LED lights and the fans to super efficient fans. And he said that for the first time his electricity consumption is less than 100 kilowatt hours per month. Now this is an upper middle class house. So I said, what about air conditioning? He says, well, I shifted to Pune, I don't need air conditioning.